this video I show you how I added a melody line that works with the chord progression, and how notes from 7th chords can help construct the melody line. Hi, I'm Scott McLean from Trance Music Mastery. Let's get started. Alright, so the saw, it's playing the same chord progression. Alright, so you might have noticed that there's something different about this clip. And what's different is this top line of notes. Everything below that line is identical to what the piano was playing. So we're going to go through and we're going to look at this top line melody that I added. What I did was create this melody line based on what chords were being played down here. So in this case, I'm playing an A chord. So what I did was I used the E and then went down to C. Both of these notes are part of this chord. There's an E and there's a C. Okay. And then for the G major chord, I went up to D. So that first part sounds like this. Now, if I disable these, or mute them, you can hear a difference. And that's one thing you want to do for ear training is when you're listening to different chord progressions and tracks is try to isolate with your hearing. Try to tune your hearing into just the top notes or more of the bottom notes, you know, or what's going on in the middle. So in this case, I'm playing an E, C, D, and then in the second set of chords, I'm playing a C, D, and then an A. Now, one thing to notice is the C is not part of a D chord, right? Because it's D, F, A. But it kind of is, because if you look at, let me play it on the keyboard here. I'm going to hold down a D chord. I'm going to play a D chord. So the C is not part of the D minor triad, but if I played the next note that I would normally with a chord, I'd end up with like basically a form of a 7th chord. So it'd be D, F, A, C. And that's in fact what I'm playing here. I'm basically taking the C note and using it as part of the melody line, and that helps give this overall chord sort of a very different flavor. Same thing with the E chord. If I play an E, and then continue to, so that would be an E triad, E, G, B. But if I played the next note that I would play in forming a chord, it would be a D, which is a type of 7th chord. So that's what I played here for that's what I used for the top melody, the top line melody for against the D minor and the E minor chord. And then I played the FAC. I just put an A in the melody. So this top line melody sounds like this. One thing to note about that last note here with the C playing against a G chord. The G chord appears twice in the progression, right? It appears over here and over here. Now, when I played the G chord here, I used a D, all right? When I played the G chord here, I used a C. And I basically experimented with different notes. And I felt like having the C in there made this a little bit more interesting from a chord progression, so that's why that's in there. If you look at the relationship between the C and a G, the C is looks like a fourth from the G note, and the G note is the fifth, perfect fifth from the C note. So if I play a C and I play a G, the interval is a fifth and played together. And that's a very strong harmonic relationship. So the C harmonizes well with a G. The variation comes in the second pattern, the relationship between this 2-bar section and this 2-bar section. They're slightly different. The chords are the same, so this is the same as this. This is the same as this. The first note is the same, that note, so these two notes are the same here. And the last note is the same. But the difference is this note, right? Here I'm playing an A, here I'm playing an E. So let's look at the relationship between this chord, which is F, A, C, and then an E. So that's another 7th style chord, right? And that's it. That's it for the top line melody for the saw. So let's go ahead and join this. And then now let's play the whole thing. All right, that's it for the chord progression.